Mr. Teenage 1985. I mean, it's here.
Are you gonna have to crop this or something? I'm starting now.
He's a hair technician. He's a beauty surgeon. I mean, I can go on and on and on with so many adjectives.
That you did, right?
Ladies and gentlemen,
It is him.
how about it? If you help me welcome Diaspora Liaison Officer, Dr. Dave Ray. Come on, give it up. Here we go, Dr. Dave Ray.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Wonderful. He took me a little bit too far back. I did not know he would mention those things. But with that being said, I hope we're not getting sleepy after eating, because I want to talk for just 2 minutes. Again, my name is Dave Ray, and I have been chosen by the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda to be the Diaspora Liaison Officer in the United States for the people, the nationals here. So what that means is that I'll be the person to be the liaison between you and the government of Antigua and Barbuda. So when you need anything done, for example, if you need to purchase land, or one of the affordable houses, or duty-free concessions, or if there's an elderly person returning to Antigua upon retirement, there's certain paperwork that has to be undertaken, so to speak, and so I am the person to facilitate that type of logistics for you. So it's a new position, and so it's still a work in progress, and I know some of you have had issues dealing with the governmental bodies in Antigua when you go home. You know, I've heard the stories from all of you. Sometimes you're trying to send a barrel home, or what is that, the container, and you have some issues. So we're trying to work that out from this end to make sure that you have a seamless transition when you go back to Antigua. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the word diaspora, it's nothing new, it's not a novel idea. It is an idea, or I would say it's a discipline that has been practiced by the Indians, the Africans, the Asians. So that's why you see an overwhelming amount of those people in this country running businesses, because of their diaspora liaison officer working in conjunction with the government of the United States. So we're trying to start something big for Antigua. And I know sometimes you feel disconnected to Antigua, and so our concept is to make you feel connected in some way to your country. After all, a lot of you send remittances home, you send monies home for your family, and so sometimes you feel like you are left in the dark, and things are happening and you don't know. So my office will be in New York, and at the offices of Antigua and Barbuda on 47th Street, and you'll be able to call me, email me, etc. I'll be able to speak to some of you after the night. One of my responsibilities also is to work along with groups. So associations, for example, ABAG, I will be working along with the groups here and the groups across North America to see if we can bring some unison and have some projects that we can work on together. Okay, so we can really help to build our country and make our country worthwhile on the globe. We also want to support the Antigua and Barbuda Students Association, which is headed by Mrs. Rosanette Kirby. Rosanette, can you stand, please? She just moved to Georgia about 4 or 5 months ago, I think. And she works along with Jerry Marshall in New York, and they have formed an association for students coming to the United States from Antigua who have no placement here in terms of family and so forth. And so they have decided to undertake that project where they support the students. They actually do movie nights, take them out. They're also doing a sponsorship program for students to go to families for Thanksgiving, for example, because some of the people, they just stay in their dorms and they have nowhere to go. So it's a support system for them. So I'm supporting them as well. One of the things I want to say to you quickly is that I know that this group might have been functioning for quite some time, but the issues that the group may have, and I don't know, I'm just assuming this, is that a lot of times groups are event-driven. When groups are event-driven, they don't last very long. People just fall off on the wayside. So what we need to do is start creating what is called project-driven groups. We have to find out what are the needs in the community, and we have to find the members that we solicit or we recruit for these groups. These members should come with a skill set and a talent and focus them in particular areas. For example, if you're great at education or sports or community services. So when you come to a group like ABAG, you have a purpose being here. There's a lot of times we come just for these events and we meet, there's always people bumping heads, and just because we're from Antigua, that's not sufficient reason for us to be in a group. We should have a purpose. So work on projects, maybe 4 or 5 projects for the year. And there's some people in the group, and this is in every group, so it's not like this group only. There's some people who do all the work, and some people sit back and criticize. You know how that works. So what we need to do is delegate to some of the people who do nothing, give them something to do, give them a project, and give them a time sensitive, time sensitivity in terms of how long they take to do a project, and have reports. And meetings, I find when we do meetings, sometimes because people live not proximal to each other, it's a difficulty for them to get to a meeting. So conference calls will be something we have to start doing. And I'll be doing some of those things with the groups so we can reach each other just by being in our bedrooms or living rooms and talking over the phone. So we have to find some things like that. We want to become a project-driven group. So if we have a disaster preparedness relief or an education group that handles everything to do with education, and that group focuses on things for the year. And give a report every 3 months or something, so we can find a purpose for these groups. Okay? Am I making sense so far? You getting something quickly? So, the other thing is that I have some passport forms here. So if anybody needs to renew his or her passport, feel free. I can give you some forms. I brought some with me just in case you need it. Okay, and we can get that rolling. And after the event, we'll be able to speak some more privately if you want to talk to me, so we can make some things happen. I am going to make sure that this position that I'm in will be a success, that in 2 years, you should be saying, this is something we should have had all the time. Because I'm a worker, and I'm willing to support your group and support you. My number will be available. You can call me if you have questions, and we can discuss this, because I have already started. They haven't given me all of my instruments yet. You know how government, I don't know if anyone of you worked for government before, but things are done at a snail pace. I'm from corporate, so I tend to understand how corporate works. But Antigua, they're a little bit slow for me, and I said this with no apologies. But we're going to make sure we put things in place that we don't have all the problems that we have. And so I am actually being proactive and stepping out. And the Prime Minister is saying he's quite excited, but the point is, we have to get things rolling. And a lot of times you go to Antigua, you call 2, 4, 3 weeks before you go to let them know you're coming down to sign the papers for your land or something. You get down there, nothing is done, you can't find the minister, somebody's reading a Mills and Boone book, something. Nobody's paying attention to you. You know what I'm saying? So we want to change that culture. Somehow, we have to start now. We can't keep complaining, we have to put things in motion to change it. And so that's what I want to do. I want to help the Prime Minister achieve that goal.